Beau Is Afraid is written and directed by Ari Aster, and that's all you need to know. That is all you need to know about what to expect when going into this film, because this film is fucking batshit insanity. I really liked this movie. I don't love it yet. I think on further rewatches, I will grow to love it. What I love about this movie is the craft, though. Ari Aster is possibly my favorite director right now. Overall, it's probably Zemeckis. It's most likely, and I've said it before, it's Zemeckis, because Back to the Future, come on. But I just love Aster's vision. I love his craft, and I love how he puts his movies together, and I love how his stories feel so personal, and I love the look of his movies. Before we get into the look of this movie, let's talk about the plot. So the plot is, and I don't want to give away too much about this movie, so I'll try to keep it as bare minimum as possible. Beau is a deeply disturbed man who takes a lot of medication, and he has a lot of anxiety, and he goes to the therapist a lot to talk about his mother. But following the death of his mother, he has to venture his way back home and deal with a lot of disturbing personal issues, not just in his mind, but with the rest of the world as well. He has to make this journey back home for his mother's funeral. And that's all I'm going to say, because the rest of this movie is just fucking nuts. And I absolutely loved it. I absolutely adored Aster's control of this film. You can tell in other films like Midsummer, it had a director's cut. He had to chop down his nearly 3-hour movie to 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. You can tell that he didn't have as much control as he could have with that theatrical cut. But with this movie, it's 2 hours, 58 minutes long, basically 3 hours long. And I had absolutely zero issue with anything that was, I know that this is Aster. I know that this is his decision. I'm still trying to reel in exactly what I thought about this film, because I saw it 2 days ago, and damn it, it's just so damn enjoyable. I have my issues with it, I do, and it's not my favorite Aster film, nor do I think it's his strongest, but that's not to undermine the craft, and that's not to undermine this film at all. This film is just, it's beautiful. It really is. It's a work of art that I cannot imagine anyone else doing. They threw this guy $35 million, and it's not going to make that budget back. I'm sorry, it's not. But I think it was worth it to see this film in IMAX. This film was presented in IMAX, and I knew this was the only way I had to see it. Not standard, IMAX. The entire screen filled up. I couldn't imagine any other way watching this movie. Because I love Aster so much, I had to see it in IMAX. And it looks great, not just in terms of, seeing the full screen. Aster's films always look beautiful because he knows exactly what he wants to shoot. The camera movements are all beautiful. The framing of certain scenes, actually, the framing of all the scenes are fantastic. I look at Aster the way I want to be a filmmaker myself. I want to be able to have total control over how the film looks, how each and every shot looks, and how it's edited together. Because you can tell that this craft is Aster. You could tell that this craft is only him, because of the look and feel of his other films and how it relates to this film. I'm going on about the craft and the production of this film because I love it. It's my favorite aspect of the film. It looks fantastic, not just in terms of, camera movements and framing, but the lighting is all great too. It's a gorgeous looking movie. The lighting's great. The colors pop out. It couldn't have been done any other way if it wasn't Aster's vision. No one else could have handled this film because of the personality and because of the story of this film. I've talked about the story before, but there's themes in this film about control and control by parents. That's all I really want to get into, but I love the themes of this film. And I think what's intriguing about this film, most of all, to me, aside from the craft and the production of this film, is the meaning of the film. And I understand the meaning of the film about control and especially parental control, but there's so many layers that you can look at it. I think that's something that people, especially me, can latch onto too much because it's all presented to you right there. Everything the film wants to say, it's there. And it's not hiding anything from you, but I think because we want to look so much into it, because is this real? Is this in Beau's head? Is this thing shown at the end of the movie that is absolutely fucking nuts? Is that real? Or is that just in Beau's head? And is that what he's thinking about an aspect to why his mother did the things that she did throughout the movie. It's fucking nuts, and it makes us want to think what's real and what's not, what's in Beau's head and what's not. But I think anything that the film wanted to say and everything the film wanted to say is said, and it's presented absolutely so clear. But we're so stuck on, is this real or is this in Beau's head? Because we know that he's anxiety ridden, he has to take medication, and he's in this absolute insane world. It's almost unreal that the world he lives in. Like, he lives in a very crime heavy place. You know, his apartment is shit. The citizens outside are fucking weird. How they say things on the news is fucking weird. And that adds into the comedy of the film. So, Aster's films, more so Midsummer, had smaller comedic moments. Not like the film stops to tell a joke, but the jokes kind of roll into the scene, and when the joke knows to stop, it stops. But in this film, there is a much more comedic take on it, where some horrific thing seems to happen, and the next shot is like a somewhat long shot of a character walking with a expression on his face, and that's fucking funny. Okay. And the way things are, like, there's a bunch of graffiti everywhere. Some shit's kind of disturbing, but really funny. The graffiti on the walls. And then there's just certain lines said by characters in the movie that are just really funny. Nathan Lane, he has some absolutely hysterical lines in the movie. For the moments he's in it, I thought he was great. I love his character. I love his delivery. It's just a really, really funny movie at times. And at moments, I was thinking, are people laughing at the movie? No, they're laughing with the movie. There's an issue I had with Midsummer. Some people were laughing at the movie. I'm like, no, laugh with the movie. Don't laugh at this moment because it's really serious and disturbing and dark and personal. People are saying, before I watched it, people were saying that, oh, it's not a horror. You know, there's some horror elements to it, but it's not a horror. I was like, okay, well, maybe Aster didn't want to make a horror film. I was worried about that because I was like, oh, I do want to be freaked out. I want to see the insanity inside Aster's mind, because Hereditary and Midsummer are fucking nuts as well. But this movie is nuts in a different way, and I couldn't be more happy about it. It is definitely a drama. I wrote a paper in college about Ari Aster as a film director. He said that he wants to make dramas first before he makes horrors. And this film was an absolute drama. This film was definitely a drama, with some horror elements in it. Not horror elements like Midsummer Hereditary, but the horror elements in this film are still strong, because there are plenty of moments that are absolutely disturbing. I was deeply invested in the whole film, but these disturbing moments are just fucking nuts. I can't describe it without spoiling it. Maybe I'll do a spoiler review in the future, but for now, damn, this is a very disturbing, great, humorous film. Let's talk about the acting real quick. Joaquin Phoenix as Beau, he's fucking breathtaking, okay? I loved his performance. I thought Joaquin Phoenix knocked it out of the park. And everyone else in the film does a great job too, mainly Nathan Lane. Has so many great lines in it. Patti LuPone, she's really good in it too. Amy Ryan, Parker Posey. Everyone in this film is great. I couldn't be more happy with the performances. I didn't have an issue with anyone's performances in the movie. Everyone's just off the walls, batshit insane. But Joaquin Phoenix knocks it out of the park yet again. He was great as Joker. He won Best Actor in that movie. Maybe he could be front runner for Best Actor in this movie as well for this year's Oscars. I thought he was fucking stunning. The things he has to do, the thing he has to put his body through, certain stunts he has to do that I can tell is him. The way he trembles his lines, the way he whimpers, the way he cries. I thought he was just fucking phenomenal. Now let's talk about the pacing of the film. I'm pretty sure people were initially worried with a nearly 3-hour long runtime. I'm talking to a friend of mine, my best friend, and I said, hey, are you going to see Beau Is Afraid? He says, I'm going to watch it next week. I don't think I'm mentally prepared to sit down in the theater for 3 hours. You know, that's perfectly fine. People can't sit down for 3 hours. I can, however, but I thought this film rarely lets up. There's a few moments here and there near the end of the second act or so where I felt that, come on, get on. I want to get to the rest of the movie. I think the sequence went on just for a tad too long. It has a lot to do with animation. If you've seen the trailers, you're pretty sure what these scenes are. As gorgeous as the movie looked in those sequences, and as invested as I was, because of how it relates to the rest of the movie and what it presents to you in terms of thinking about how it relates to the rest of the movie. I was thinking, I want to get on with the rest of the movie. I want to see more. Not to say I didn't enjoy that sequence, but I was just thinking, come on, I want to get to the rest of it. Come on, hurry up. I loved that sequence, but I was thinking, come on, hurry up. And the beginning of the film too, just a tad slow, and just a tad. I want to get to the rest of the movie. Just only a teensy weensy bit. Where I wanted that beginning to the first act mainly to just let's just go. I'm loving what's being presented here, but I thought it could have moved on just a tad quicker, maybe. I only say that because I was still invested in the movie, mainly because it's Ari Aster and his craft is just fucking phenomenal. And there's also a segment in the movie when he's with Nathan Lane and when he's with that family, it kind of makes the film feel like it comes to a stop. And even though Aster's direction in this sequence, in this, this set piece, in this moment is still fucking great, I still thought we came to a grinding halt when we're presented with something. Beau's journey starts and it just stops. Although it's important later on for the rest of the film, I feel like that segment, it just kind of stops. And certain sequences happen with certain characters, and I'm thinking mainly a daughter character. And I'm thinking, I get why, like when you watch the rest of the film, I get why it relates to the end, what happens at the end, an ultimate decision that happens at the end. I understand why it relates to that. But in the moment, you're thinking, come on, I want to get on with the rest of the movie. And even though I love these sequences, I love to see how Aster just opens his mind up and lets us peer into it with this story and his insanity that he brings us into. I just wanted the film to just keep going and going. But I didn't have an issue with how long the film was. I still thought it was paced greatly. Like, it's paced amazingly. It's just that I wanted the film to get on more. I was never bored. I was never bored with this 3-hour-long movie. I had a friend on Letterboxd who has this to say: if the movie just restarted after the credits were done, I honestly think I would have stayed. And I felt the exact same way. I would have sat for another 3 hours long to watch this movie because it's an experience unlike any other film I've ever seen in my life. It feels so differently, yet similar to Aster's other works, mainly because of how much control he has. Yet again, he still has a fair amount of control in Hereditary and Midsommar. Not even a fair, he has a great amount of control in those films. You can tell that it's someone with a voice and a vision, and you could definitely tell that with this film. Also, I want to point out the music. I thought the music worked great in every scene. It's the same composer, Bobby Krilic, I believe that's how you say his name. The same composer from Midsommar. And Midsommar is possibly my favorite film score of all time. I think it's angelic. It's beautiful. It's heavenly. And this film's score is also fantastic. Every sequence that it's in, it's just breathtaking, and it immerses you into the film. It feels like you're inside the movie with the way the film is composed. It's fucking beautiful. So anyways, overall, I don't know if I love this movie yet. It might be like Midsommar, where I didn't love it at first. I just really liked it. But as time went on, I grew to appreciate it more and more, and it became one of my favorite movies. I really want that to happen with Beau Is Afraid. I think this film was fucking beautiful. It's an absolute insane joyride of a trip. Both a trip as in a fun trip, but also a fucking trippy trip from start to finish. This film was fucking batshit insanity, off the walls, and I couldn't be more happy about it, and I highly recommend you check it out. I want it to make its money back. It won't. It's at $3 million right now with a budget of $35 million. And it honestly scares me for what's going to come next for Aster, because this film's going to lose money. And I'm hoping it'll make its money back in like rentals and DVD, Blu-ray, 4K purchases. But I think in theaters it's going to lose its money. If it's at 3 million right now and it needs 35 million, and opening weekend already passed and it's been almost a week since it's released, 2 weeks since it initially released for special showings that most of my friends got to see, but I didn't because I didn't know they were showing at AMC's, and they never showed up when I looked them up on Google. But oh well, I'm not upset about it. A little, but I'm not. But I just want this film to be successful because there's so much love poured into it. There's so much personality and deep emotions that Aster presents to us. But again, overall, I want to say I love this movie so much. I really, 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 really like it. I love the craft of it. I love the production of it. But will I love the film right now? Almost. I'm so close to loving this movie. But it's an absolute blast. I'm giving Beau Is Afraid a B+. Who knows? Maybe I'll up it to an A. It's really close to an A-. But damn it. Damn it, I really enjoy this movie. What did you think about Beau Is Afraid? Did you love it? Did you really, really like it? Did you hate it? I can see people not liking this movie, but I don't care about them. I'm gonna push them out because I really, 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 really like this movie. So, what did you think about Beau Is Afraid? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content and movie reviews like this. So, yeah, bye.